Welcome to the question of the day. Today's question is from a whole lot of you. Lots of you submitted this question. And in fact, I was on a webinar this morning and this question came up, and pretty much everybody on the webinar wanted this question addressed. So I decided to make it today's question of the day. So, question of the day is from a lot of you. But here's the question: customers can't wait until after the holidays. How do we overcome this objection? This is a fantastic question, and I was waiting for this one to come through. There's certain topics that are seasonal, right? Like when the slow season comes up, I know I'm going to get asked, how do we drive leads? How do we do self-generated leads? Stuff like that. And with the holidays approaching, I was waiting, and then it happened yesterday. I started getting some calls of, how do I overcome customers that want to wait until after the holidays? And this is a big one right now. So we should address it because Thanksgiving is next week. This is going to happen with Thanksgiving, but then it's going to be Christmas after that. We go right into Christmas season and then New Year season. Like this is an objection we're going to be getting from now until after New Year's. And so we should probably have a strategy of how to address this. So I would start with this. When I do the objection boot camp, the very first thing I say at the beginning of the objection boot camp is, if you came here looking for silver bullets, there is no silver bullet. There's no one thing I'm going to show you that's going to close everything down, right? But there are a ton of golden BBs, lots of golden BBs, lots of opportunities that if we use these, we can increase our odds of moving this forward and serving our customer. So it becomes a win-win scenario. It's a win for me, the employee, it's a win for the company, and it's a win for the customer. That's what I want to establish, is a win-win-win type of scenario. So this is also a topic I think is important throughout the year, but it becomes more important around the holidays here. So the tactics that we go over today, the strategies we develop, I would do this yearly, all year long, but it's probably more important and you feel it more around the holidays here. So here's what I do. When I go visit a company, sometimes I'm a little tricky about how I do this, but I'll be in front of a sales team, and we'll be having a sales meeting, and I'll kind of play dumb and I'll ask this question. I'll say, I don't know your guys' area here. Like, I'm not from here. And your industry, like, you know your industry better than me. So let me ask you guys, in your industry, in your area, when's the best time for a customer to buy? And I just ask that question and I see what the room says. A lot of times, more than I'd care to admit, I'll get different answers like, well, end of the month, or, in the summer, or something like that, right? But really, the answer is today. Today is always the best time to buy. And it's absolutely true. It is. It's not a quirky sales line. Today is always the best time to buy. And we're going to dive into the reasons, because the reasons, those are the things that change. The reasons that today, right now, before Thanksgiving is the best time to buy are going to be different than the reasons in June or July or some other time of the year, right? Reasons might be different in different areas of the country. But the one thing that is true is that today is always the best time to buy. It's just the reasons change. So here's what I would do with your teams. And we'll do a little bit of this here, but really the impact is going to be you doing this with your sales teams, or doing it as a sales team. Create a list of all the reasons that today is the best day to buy, that today is the best day to move forward. And you want to do this with the team for a couple of reasons. One, more heads are better than one, right? You're probably going to come up with some great reasons on your own, but somebody's going to be able to build on top of that. Somebody's going to be able to add their own reasons or how they weave that into the process seamlessly. So more heads are going to be better than one. Two, I want this to be the team's ideas. I don't want to feed them just a bunch of ideas, because if it's my ideas, I'm less interested in rolling your ideas. I'm more interested in rolling my own ideas. So I want the team to come up with these. It has to be their ideas. They're going to get more excited about it if it's their ideas. So we're going to come up with a number of reasons here, create that list. These are all different tools that you can use. Not a single one of them is a silver bullet that's going to get past the holiday objection every time. But if I have a lot of tools to choose from, I can pick the best tool for the job. It's a lot like a plumber. You have a lot of scenarios that you might run into. And so you have a well stocked truck full of tools so that when you run into those scenarios, you can pick the best tool for the job. That was something my dad always taught me. My dad was very handy. My brother was very handy. I was not very handy, and that's why I'm in sales. But my dad, I do remember one thing he told me. He said, pick the best tool for the job. I don't always do that, but in sales, same thing. Pick the best tool for the job. And we're going to have a number of tools here. So with your teams, create that list, all the reasons that today is the best day to buy. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to run into different situations. So for example, a customer may say, we're going to wait until after the holidays because I can't afford it right now. Like I literally don't have the money right now. That's going to be different than I have the money. I'm just too busy right now. I don't have time to do it right now. It's like my son. We got to get him a haircut before Thanksgiving here. And I'm looking at our schedule with events and activities. I don't even know when we're going to make. He's going to get a haircut from me. That's what's going to happen. Poor kid. So we just get busy. But those are different scenarios. I don't have the money or I don't have the time, right? So I want to have a number of tools that depending on the situation I run into, I got different tools. So for example, the customer that says like, yeah, I got to wait till after the holidays because I literally don't have the money right now. I got to buy Christmas gifts. I'm hosting Thanksgiving. Like I don't have the money right now. That's where I would use financing. That's what financing is for. Financing is a tool for when you don't have the money. That's exactly why financing was created. Financing allows you to get the solution you need at a payment you can afford. I'm going to say that again. Finance allows you to get the solution you need at a payment you can afford. And now I don't know everybody's individual financing companies here and what they have set up, but typically there's some commonalities like the first payment isn't due for a while. Most finance companies give you 30 or 60 or 90 days before that first payment is due. And so that gets you past the holidays, right? That's an added bonus of finance. Financing is a simple interest loan, meaning you can pay early, you can pay extra, and you never have a prepayment penalty. So if you don't have the money now, you can finance it. And then if you have the money later, you can just pay the thing off and avoid all that extra interest. But it allows you to get that solution you need at a payment you can afford. So that would be a tool that I could use for the customer that just doesn't have the money right now. But that might be different than the customer that I just don't have the time. I spoke with a great company in Brooklyn here, and they had a great strategy for this one. You don't have the time right now. Great. Let's schedule it right after the holiday. So they're running into this right now where they're getting stuck on, I just don't have time to do it before Thanksgiving. Great. Let's get it scheduled for after Thanksgiving. One less thing to worry about around the holidays here. Two different situations, two different solutions, but you pick the best tool for the job. So let's go into some other potential solutions here. Now I'm just going to start this conversation. I'm going to working with other companies. These are solutions other companies are using. This is not the complete list. You're going to create your own list. You're going to sit down with your team. You're going to come up with your own list. These are just some thought starters here, right? So finance, we already talked about that one. That's a great tool to have in your tool belt. Scheduling later for after the holidays. That is a great tool to have in your tool belt. You may have some kind of service partner incentive, right? There may be some incentive that applies here. Maybe there's some priority scheduling. If you're part of a service partner plan, maybe there's some priority scheduling that can get you taken care of ahead of the holidays here so that you don't have to worry about it. That peace of mind piece, right? There may be the scenario of there's a lot of openings right now, and later we're going to get busy. We are entering into the season where there's going to be a lot of stress on our homes and our systems when we're hosting and we're going to get busy. And as it gets colder, we're going to get busy. And so right now there's openings. Later, we may have to wait. And so openings now means we can get it done quickly and on the time frame that you want it done. There's just that peace of mind, right? The peace of mind of less holiday stress. Holidays, there's tons of studies out there that say the holidays are the most stressful time of the year, right? Like, why add one more thing? I can take care of this for you. It makes it easy. And that should be my job as a salesperson is I make this easy. I often talk about as a salesperson, my job is to make it easy, to remove resistance. I always think of it like a water slide. From the customer perspective, there should be no effort to get started, no effort to go through the corners, and you end up in the same place every single time. There should be no resistance, no effort on the customer's part. If I make it easy, like getting it done, less holiday stress, then I'm doing my job. So you may solve it before it becomes a bigger issue. So we all know when these things are going to go out, right? If we're talking about like plumbing or something, when's it going to back up? When's it going to overflow? Thanksgiving, when you're hosting everybody, or Christmas, when you're hosting everybody. Do I want to deal with that during the holidays? No, let's get it taken care of before it becomes a bigger issue. Price. This one should probably be at the top of the list, but I buried it down here in the bottom. Price. Prices don't go down. We just know that, right? Like the price you're offering today, we know that's the best price possible. Fortunately, prices just go up. I get on Facebook, I get inundated with those ads around my birthday, and it says things like, it's like a poster, and it says like the price of bread, the price of a movie ticket, like the year you were born, stuff like that. Spoiler alert, it's a lot cheaper than it was today because prices are always going up. They never go down. So that price you're offering today, that is the best price. Now, I don't know when the prices are going to go up, but I do know the price today is going to be the best price. There's probably some discounts, right? Like maybe you're offering some discounts because you have openings right now or to get ahead of that. I ran into one company that they're covering the first 3 months of financing up to a certain dollar amount for these customers, for those customers that want to wait. That way they don't have to worry about this until after the holidays. So that's a discount, a promo that they're offering. So maybe there's other promos that tie in. Thanksgiving is at the end of the month, and that's when a lot of these promos are going to end. So there's a timestamp on this. If we want to take advantage of those promos, we'd have to do it probably before Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving this year is pretty much the end of the month. So what promos? The last thing I would offer here would be like just not being afraid to dig in either. You can say anything you want as long as you say it respectfully and dig into those scenarios. I had a coaching call just the other day and I was talking to a salesperson and they said they ran into a situation where the customer didn't have any working toilets. And what they're doing is walking down to the gas station down the street to use those bathrooms. And they said, like, man, it was touchy. I didn't want to dig into it. I didn't want to be pushy, but think of it like I always think of it like this. If that was my mom, would I would just walk away and not try to help that person? Because that sounds horrible. And it's getting colder out. I don't know where this person lives exactly, but like here it's getting cold. I don't want to walk to a gas station every time I have to use the bathroom. So digging in a little bit and asking that customer, like, well, so I can best serve you. What's your plan? Like, how long do you plan on doing that? How can I help? Don't be afraid to dig into those scenarios. As long as you're helping, nobody's ever going to get mad at you for offering to help. So that's a whole list of reasons. I didn't even count this, but it's more than 10, right? That is a pretty good jumping off point. So do this with your teams. Do this exercise. Create a list. Why is today the best time to purchase? This is going to arm your team with these potential solutions. So they're going to have a ton of tools in their tool belt, like a well-stocked truck, so that when they run into these scenarios, they can pick the one that's going to work best and try to move these forward and use them in a proactive sense rather than a reactive sense. I can work a lot of this into my process before it becomes an issue, before I actually get that objection. I can establish with the customer why today is the best day to buy. So do this exercise with your teams. So that's today's question of the day. Start following. It's on major streaming services. Make sure you rate and leave a comment. And if you have a question, reach out to me either on social media or email. Both are going to be listed in the show description. Let's get your questions answered. And if you're a Nexstar member, schedule a call with me. We can address this one-on-one. We can dig into your specific scenario and get you the solution you need to move you forward. I'm Coach Chris. We'll see you tomorrow.